you cannot receive a prize until after you have finished the race. And then you get to the place, to the podium where they're giving out prizes. And so the fact that the reward of the wicked is hell, okay? And the only time you're going to get to hell, according to the rest of the scriptures, is once we have been judged, okay? The wicked will be resurrected to the great white throne judgment. I'm speaking now from a Christian perspective, because the scriptures doesn't teach that we're going to spend eternity in heaven, okay? But from a Christian perspective, from the teachings of Christianity, the reward of the righteous is eternity in heaven, okay? And according to this chapter, that those that Lazarus, who had now made it into heaven, cannot come back out of heaven, because there is a great gulf fixed. So even if he wanted to come back, he couldn't come back, okay? And neither could the rich man who was in hell come back out of hell, because there was a great gulf fixed. You see, so if it's impossible for them to come back, what Christianity teaches is that you begin to experience your reward the moment you die. Then when Yahusha returns and the resurrection comes, he pauses your reward. He pauses your whether your punishment or your blessing, which would be in heaven. He pauses it for a moment, calls you to judgment, and then send you back to where you were banished to. But if there's a great gulf fixed and it's impossible for you to come back from either places, then it just doesn't make sense. How will you come back for your reward that you have already gotten anyway? You see? So the person in hell has already gotten their reward. The person in heaven has already gotten his reward. And then furthermore, there is a great gulf fixed. So even if he desired to come back, he can't come back. So really, Luke chapter 19, it's a parable, a Proverbs intended to teach a lesson. You see, Abraham's bosom is not heaven. It's the temporal holding place of the righteous until the day of judgment and reward of New Jerusalem. And that place is the grave. You see, that place is the grave. It's no, there is no purgatory or anything else. That holding place until judgment is the grave. And in the grave, the scriptures tells us over and over again that there is no consciousness in the grave. You see, there is no consciousness in the grave, and so, I mean, there are tons of scriptures that support that, but unfortunately, because of how we have been conditioned in Christianity, we're conditioned to take one when really, literally, that's not what the passage is teaching. But we've been taught to take it literally. The message there was a warning. Consider this: how can a person be rewarded when the one that's going to grant the reward has not even returned? You see, according to Christian teaching, your reward is to be in heaven if you're righteous, and if you're wicked, your reward is hell. Okay, and so what they say is without judgment. Now, is this like Yah? Okay, is this like Yah? When you have okay, you go to court, put it in earthly natural terms. When you go to court, would it be just for the judge to put you in jail? I mean, to lock you up, to punish you before he has even heard your case, before you've even been tried? That would be unjust, even from a natural perspective, much more from Yah's perspective. You see, the only way one can be condemned to hell is after the judgment. The only way one can be rewarded with eternity with the Most High is after the judgment. You see, it can't be before. If it is before, then the scriptures would contradict itself. And so the problem is not with the scriptures. The problem is with how we have been conditioned to view the scripture, you know. Okay, so what about Revelation chapter 6? The souls under the altar in Revelation chapter 6. Okay, let's go to Revelation chapter 6. What I've had to do in studying the scriptures, I've had to set aside every prior notion that I've had, everything that I've been taught, because I realized that I was indoctrinated in a false system. Okay, and I've had to set aside every notion, everything that I thought I knew. I had to take it and re-examine it. Every single thing that I thought I knew, I had to take it and I had to re-examine it, because I realized that I've been influenced even from a child. Okay, to my point, even in Revelations, a lot of people don't realize that what Revelation tells us is that what Revelation teaches us is that by the time the rapture comes, when Yah is ready to take his people, only 144,000 people will be raptured. And that's clearly in Revelations, but that's not what I've always thought. That's not what I was taught in church, and even when I was studying. Okay, she smiles, sis. That's not what I was taught, but that's what the scriptures teach. You see, and because that's not how I was, not what I was taught, and everything went against that, then when I read it, I couldn't see it. You see, because of how we have been conditioned. But in Revelation chapter 6, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Elohim, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yahuah, holy and true, dost thou not judge?